Today I'm super excited to be having Ubio Obu, the founder of Remostart, and we'll be having some really interesting conversation about how you could plug into remote opportunities, remote jobs, global opportunities, and I'm super excited because of his depth of experience, his exposure, and I'm hoping that during this conversation you have something to pick up that would help your own journey. So stay tuned and keep watching. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much.
I'm excited about this conversation because you're somebody that has the experience, and it's amazing how you've been able to build something so profound, and you're trying to empower the next generation. You're trying to empower the community of young people. I'm excited about what you're building, the platform. But then before we go straight to it, I'd just like you to introduce yourself to our audience.
All right, thank you so much for that opportunity. Here is Ubio Obu, and I'm the founder of Remostart. Just in case you want to know me a little bit much more, actually I have my educational background in artificial intelligence, and I'm also a KECTIO fellow. I'm a Microsoft Winsider fellow, and I also sit in the Singularity Net Deep Funding Focus Group board as well. So I'm also a blockchain evangelist, specifically about the Cardano ecosystem. I'm quite very ambitious about that. So yeah, that's just me in a brief. Thank you.
Wow, man, your profile is huge. So, but something that interests me, what do you mean by blockchain evangelist?
Oh yeah, so I think this whole concept is because I believe in exponential technologies, and when so exponential technologies are like technologies of the now. So I'm one person that tries to keep myself at the forefront of the exponential technologies. So currently blockchain is one of such exponential technology, artificial intelligence, and one person that is trying to go around letting people to understand the opportunities that lies in blockchain and how people can as well key into it. This is also part of what I do. And when I talked about Cardano, Cardano is one of such ecosystems that I'm deeply involved in and trying to educate a lot of people about it. So that's just it about me in that regard.
Cool. I love what you're doing with Remostart, and it's interesting how you're building a network of young people. You're just recruiting talent, and you're giving them hope. You're giving them opportunities to live their own dreams. So I'd just like you to tell us, what is really Remostart about?
I really love that question. What's Remostart about? I would say, in one word, I like saying Remostart is about inclusive hiring. So it's a concept. I'm trying to build a concept around inclusion. And talking about inclusion is the fact that opportunities should not be allowed at only the center, but the people at the fringes also have a right to opportunities, and job opportunities in this instance is only one of that. Right, so that's the grand mission of Remostart. Hiring and the platform is only a tool for us to achieve that mission, right? But the grand mission is that I want to see how we can decentralize opportunities. We can decentralize hiring. Opportunities should not just be at the center. It should be people at the fringes of society should be able to have access to the opportunities that are at the center. So we are going to the center to take the opportunities to the people at the fringes, and that's why we focus on geographies like Africa, Asia, South America. Of course, we would definitely get into, like I'm talking about, when we want to help do this thing. So we go into the US, we go into these other developed countries, and we take those opportunities over there and try to see how we can give it to the people at the fringes of society.
I think this is big, but I have a question. How do you try to spot talent? How do you try to locate them? Do you have like a particular criteria you use, the kind of profiles you need, the kind of audience, the kind of people that you're looking out for? So who are these people that you are actually trying to really empower?
We make the barrier to entry to be actually quite lower, because we understand that these people are actually, not all of them have that whole high profile. But this is the beautiful part about what we do at Remostart, which is quite unique. Right, is the fact that we have different programs for different set of people. We have internship programs that help people to upskill. We have job shadowing program that help people to get experience. We have the linking and also.
Sorry, what do you mean by job shadowing?
So job shadowing is actually a category that we developed whereby, so when we started trying to solve the problem of giving jobs to people in Africa, we discovered one unique problem that we never saw when we started trying to solve the problem. It was the fact that most young people, the problem is one, most young people are not skilled. That is the first level. But the second level to the problem is the fact that most young people lack corporate skills. They're skills that we call skills of the job, skills of the market, right?
So they have the technical skills,
So
but
a person, yeah,
how to work with people, the skills that are required at the workplace, they don't really understand how it works.
discipline, being on time, and this is the worst part about it. People feel like because today we now do hybrid jobs, remote job, that being on time is no more necessary, but in fact it's much more necessary.
Yeah.
Right? So these are some of the things that I discovered with young people, especially from this part of the world, that I realized that was a very big constraint to why they cannot be hired. So someone can finish internship and will not be hired because the person does not have the corporate skills. He does not understand what a meeting, when to speak in a meeting, when not to speak, how to be relevant and all of that. So we had to come up with this whole concept of the job shadowing program, where we partner with organizations. I think 2 days ago I was speaking with a United Nations guy, and we're trying to see how we can even increase this particular scope of it, because he felt that this is in fact the most important aspect in the equation, right? So basically we're trying to see how we can now provide these opportunities. So you go work with organizations. You are not their employer, you are not their employee, sorry, neither are you an intern, but you're only there to get the corporate skills that you can add to your resume, and then increase your profile. And then secondly, your resume becomes stronger than before when you didn't pass through this program. So we have all of that. So we do all of this kind of program. Now going back to your initial question, we do all of this because we're trying to see how we can improve the value of people so that we'll be able to connect them to the jobs.
Okay, so do you have like a training program for, or they put it like this, how do you get the talent? People are already interested in this and they're like, how do I really plug into this? You talked about you offer remote jobs, internship opportunities. The opportunities you currently offer, how can people plug into, especially the remote jobs? Because people are really looking for how to, to transition into tech, the vast opportunities in the digital space. How can they, what opportunities are out there for them in the remote space?
Very beautiful question. So let's talk about how do people transition into tech, and before we even talk about the opportunities, because I saw those two fundamental questions in what you asked, right? A lot of people are trying to transition into tech, and my advice is tech is very vast. So if you are trying to transition into tech, try to look at the tech where a lot of people are not going into. So I see a lot of people trying to transition into tech, and so you know me quite well. 4 or 5 years ago, I was not into tech.
Yeah.
How did I transition into tech?
Yeah.
And when I decided to transition into tech, I decided to pick a field that a lot of people are not in there already, right? Yeah. So I had to transition into artificial intelligence, right? Yeah. Where a lot of people are not going into, where people are still feeling like it's magic. And because of that, in part when I was introducing myself, as a result of that transition, I've had to do a whole lot. I work with, in fact, some of the jobs that we even bring into Remostart is because of that particular transition. I now have relationships that people that need my expertise in terms of that, and I had to bring them and be like, oh, I also have a platform that fundamentally helps with this stuff, right? But there's a direction I'm trying to go. I'm currently an ambassador for SingularityNet. SingularityNet is one of the top 3 AI platforms in the world, right? They're trying to build what we call the AGI. I'm still going to connect it back to your question, don't worry. They're trying to build what we call the AGI, the Artificial General Intelligence, whereby we're going to have a platform where all of human intelligence, AI, will be able to have the unique human intelligence. But I'm saying all of this to mean that when I decided to transition, I didn't transition to do what every other person was doing. So I transitioned into something that a lot of people, at least in my space, are not doing, so that it makes it easier for me to get jobs and all of that, because I'm now unique. I talk about blockchain, for example, and I can bet you, like I keep saying it, we are every day, you get a lot of people asking for one thing or the other. I need in fact, right now as I'm speaking to you, I know at least 10 persons that are looking for different skills related to blockchain related skills, but there's a lower demand. But when young people want to transition into tech, what do? They transition into the same tech. And now, this is not me trying to cast aspiration about other technologies and other skills, but I think wisdom demands that you should be where other people are not. You understand? So it increases your value. For example, this is what I do have right now, and I'm not trying to be brag about it, but I don't think I can do any job that they are paying me less than $1 million in a month. I can't even think of it. Now, this is because I have gone in, increased my value, stayed in a skill set that is currently in demand, and make myself much more valuable. And all. So that is the first thing I want to talk. So if there's anyone probably listening to this and then you're probably thinking about transitioning into tech, I would advise you transition into technologies that other people are not going into. That's the first one. That is scarce. That's the real word. So that's the first thing I'm going to advise. The second aspect about skill transition is transition into skills that you already have leverages on, that you can now use to now learn other skills, right? So
how do you mean?
I'm going to do that, right? So this is what I mean. Someone that is already into graphic design can easily move into UI, and can easily move into virtual reality.
That makes sense.
Now, I like I said, I'm big on exponential technology. I love when the technology is beyond what I can understand. I love it when I speak technology and when people are speaking and I'm so lost, because it means I'm gonna go for 3 months, 6 months just to understand that. I'm that kind of person, right? So I've been in top exponential technology places where they are doing virtual realities. They are creating, for example, there's something we are doing in Remostart currently, one of the tools. We are going to come into that we are trying to do, where we are trying to create a robot that will be taking interviews on behalf of organizations. And so that also needs
I hope that will make it easy for people to be recruited, because
yeah, we are going to come to that conversation, right? I'm sure we're going to come to that. But where I was going with that is the fact that building on this, I've seen how relatable the graphic designer skill is to the virtual reality skill. Because when you want to build the VR, you want to make the robot to be able to speak out. We do the AI and all of that. But for the robot to be able to speak and look human, is the graphic designer and all that. So the guy who is doing graphic design, the guy who is doing virtual video editing, does not know that he just needs to do a little bit of some little alignment for him to become a virtual reality artist. When you become a VR artist, your value has increased by 10 times of what. So if you were busy getting $10 per hour for each job you are doing by just designing some 2D posters and all of that, by transitioning into 3D and becoming a VR developer. So if you transition into UI, maybe you'll be getting $30. But if you transition into graphic virtual reality artist, you are now getting $100 per hour. So that is how. So that's the first discussion about transition. Transition into scarce tech skills. Transition into leverage skills. Like there are skills you already have that you just need to leverage a little bit and make them and upskill. And then the thing is, this is what I would say for free. Don't be scared of anything. Think of the most wildest things that you can think of. Skills that you hear and it feels like it takes some special persons to do it. These things are not. Project management, what do you want to talk about? All of these skills are things that you yourself can do it. So far as you've been able to learn A, it means you can learn Z. That's my own philosophy, right? So that speaks to your first question about how to transition. Now, having transition, how do you get the opportunities? Now, that's the beautiful part about it. I have this whole philosophy that we have most opportunities than we have people that are qualified for it. And I have a proof for that. As we speak right now, there's a young boy somewhere who actually has gotten 4 jobs or 5 jobs or 10 jobs and is about to choose one. What happens to the other 9? So the question has never been about, so that means all the 10 persons listened to him, had interview with him, in a pool of hundreds of people, but everybody chose him. So what happened that he makes him much more? So he has built himself. So when you build this, there's a point you build yourself to that
in demand.
You are now the in demand. So you are not searching for opportunities. Opportunities are searching for you. I have a philosophy and a book that I said I will definitely write. I call it increasing your luck. Luck can be increased. Luck is not just something that because I've seen it virtually in my life. I've seen myself get into opportunities, and I just remember 4 or 5 years ago, I'll be like, oh more. This would have been a crazy testimony, but I know I can't even testify about it because in reality, those people that are giving me those opportunities, they are actually doing themselves a favor because they know the value that I am bringing into the table. And I can't, there are things that if I tell you, maybe I will tell you off camera that are opportunities that have come to me and I said no, that you'll be like, are you okay? These are some prayer points that people are praying for. But I looked at it and I'm like, why should I go to the US and I'll still be doing this? No, if you're not going to do this, it's none of my, it's not what I am praying for any longer. So opportunities have never been the problem, guys. The main problem has always been us. How do we get to the point that we become much more valuable than the very opportunity? That when opportunity comes,
you be an opportunity magnet.
Yeah, you become an opportunity magnet, but more so, we can actually increase our luck and we can actually get much more opportunities than we actually do get. But the main problem is how do we position ourselves in a way that those opportunities come to us? Like you said, the opportunities, magneting the opportunities. But second now is the aspect of you being above the opportunities. So the HR is calling this particular person to, please sir, can you come in and all that? Because even the HR does know that opportunity that we are presenting to this guy is above it. Do you know the opportunities you struggle for is the opportunities that are above you? So we have to come to the point that we are above certain opportunities so that by the time you go for those opportunities, those opportunities become quite smaller for you, right? So being in the HR space and being that I'm working with young people and all of these are some of the things I do tell them. Work on your skills, increase your availability, and like increase your value, and then much more, increase your portfolio. Do a lot of this stuff that make you to be much more valuable. There was a point in my life when I used to apply for a lot of opportunities. But now I rarely apply. And I can tell you, so the success rate before now was almost like saying you will get called 1 out of 10. Now when you get called, you are not sure of moving to the next step. Now I don't even apply. But if I apply for 3 or 4, the probability of getting 2, being called, is about 2 or 3 for certain reason. Why? Because I have increased my luck. What you call the value. So I call it I've increased my luck. That is the whole distance. So when you now get all of those opportunities, of course, that's what we do at Remostart. That's why we are engaging with these partners, trying to talk to them on the essence of bringing these jobs to our platform so that to make it available and accessible. But there's another thing people miss. So we have our platform, but we also have our social media, and we have people that are actively engaging in our communities. So, and we know these people. So most times there's some opportunities and we don't even put on our platforms. We just call, hello, there is this particular opportunities and all of that. We see from your bio that you are well qualified, and these are people engaging in our communities, asking questions, doing different things that we are doing. We do spaces, they are there and all this stuff. So we get to know these people, and then we directly call these kind of people and give them those kind of...
I love where this is heading. So how do people become part of your community so they can have immediate access to this kind of opportunity?
So our communities are actually depending. We have the communities for startups and people that are building their businesses, and we have our communities for people that are talents. So of course the talents need to primarily register on our website, and then make sure that their profile is complete. This is another thing a lot of people miss.
What's the website, please?
It's www.remostart with an S, remostarts.com. So, and then when you go there, you can see, so we have 2 stuff. We have the startup and then we have the remote force. So we call it remote force. They are the talent site. You go in, you fill in all your details, you put in your CV, every single thing about you and where you are in your journey. And it's supposed to be a live stuff. That's to say, as you are updating, So let's say you were at the beginner level 2 months ago, now you have increased to intermediary level. Go back, update your profile and all of that, because that's what we use to get you. But that's the first level of it. The second level of it is that you need to be in our WhatsApp communities. We have a WhatsApp. It's also connected there. We have our LinkedIn. We have our Instagram and Facebook and all those platforms. You can always get them from the website. You just see where you can link more. And then attend our spaces. Because in some of these spaces you see founders come in, directly engaging, and then we used to do a lot of initiatives. Sometimes we have word programs we call Pitch Your Skill, where we bring in founders and then bring in talents. You just directly pitch, and then there's a match in between, and everything is done. So we do a lot of this kind of this. So you participate actively, and let's get to know who you are and what you represent. So this way you can jump the hurdle when those kind of jobs come directly to us. And then also beautiful part about it is, remembering it from this question, is we are also currently we are building some AI tools that will help you with updating your CV, creating your CVs and all those kind of stuff in part of the talent. So this is one of the reasons why you need to make sure you register sign up on that website, because we are going to be putting tools that will optimize you. And let me also shock you, we are also building a tool that will be preparing you for interview. It's going to be an AI tool that will be taking, like, so let's say you're having an interview tomorrow with KPMG and all that. If you can put in the name of the company, and it's going to understand the methodology of their kind of interviews, and it will be using it to be asking you questions, preparing you, telling you your deficiencies and all. So all of that is actually in the book. But this is more reason why you need to register on the platform if you are a talent, right? But for the startups and businesses, there's a whole lot that we are doing for you guys. I think I would like to take that particular discussion separately when if it comes in, because right now we're still talking opportunities.
So you were talking about how people need to learn how to create their own log. So now there are a lot of people that have been able to invest in themselves. They can now create their own log. Are there specific opportunities that are out there for people like that?
Yeah, once you create your own log. So
on your platform?
On our platform, for example, every single day, if you're on a WhatsApp group, every single day there is opportunity being dropped on a WhatsApp group. Every single day.
Yeah.
On our platform, we put in jobs that are specifically there. Like it's the companies come to us and they're like specifically so we are the one to handle this for them. Those are the ones you see on our platform, and that's where. So we need a lot more rigorous verification and a lot of. So that's why we need you to be on our. So, but if you're on our communities anywhere, on our communities, you can't be on our community and you're saying you are not seeing the opportunities. You needed to be blind for you to say that, because every single day we are putting opportunities in there and so if you've been able to create your own log, increase your own value, then you will be much more if you apply for these things, definitely you'll get depending on how much of the log you've created, right? So if you've created your value to a point that if you apply for 10, then you can get 10 calls. Yeah, people like that, but it also, so if you've not, maybe out of 10 you get just one call in and all. But again, that shouldn't deter you. Create your luck. That's
I don't want to take much of your time, so I just love to ask this question. Is there some other project you're currently working on?
Yeah, for Remostart, we're doing a whole lot. We are doing a whole lot, and this is the beautiful part. So remember where we started the discussion from? Yeah. We said we see ourselves as pioneering the concept of inclusive hiring. We don't just see ourselves as a startup. Yeah. We are catalyzing a philosophy. We are bringing up an ideology that hiring should be inclusive. Our startup is more of an argument in itself that people in the underdeveloped part of the world can do better and deserve better. Yeah. So we are telling these guys that, see, if we do everything right, you will get much more people from this place, and you will actually attest to their hard work and all of this. So we are building a thesis based on that. As a result of that, we are building a lot of AI tools that will change the dynamics of the hiring industry. So there's one side to the fact that we speak to talents, but the other side that we speak to organizations as well. So when we speak to organizations, and in case anyone has an organization here, the language is different. First, we try to let them to understand that the reason why you are not hiring people, or why Africans, why Asians, why these people, women, are not getting this opportunity, it's not because they are bad, But because there are systemic biases that exist, fundamentally flawed against these people, we try to make people to understand this systemic, because there are places where people don't understand these systemic biases. They don't understand when you tell them that you don't have light. They don't understand when you tell them that you graduated from college at 25. These things are strange because these things are basic stuffs in certain places. So we try to speak this language. So we've spoken this language to a point and I just got tired. And I felt like, no, I should stop speaking to these people. I should build an AI tool that speaks to the dynamics of this. So currently, we are building an AI tool. We call it the Smart Interview Assistant.
Awesome.
So if you go to our platform, you will see a lot of smart stuff. So maybe let me speak to that. If you have an organization, there are a lot of tools and a lot of stuff. Before we talk about the smart hiring this thing, so let's talk about those other, because we've built a lot of tools that we would like organizations to use. One, we have what we call the DI tool. It helps you to know how inclusive you are as a company. It asks you certain basic questions and it will analyze your company and tell you how inclusive you are, so with respect to your diversity, equity, and also advise you on what you can do. So you can even go and then if your score is good, you can even you can print in a certificate. You can just go to the website. Down there you see what we call DI score and all that. Just try it out and then you'll see how inclusive your company is. We currently do have a tool in our platform. We call it the interview notebook. So if you go to the tool, if you sign up as a startup and then you go, maybe let's say you want to take interviews, you just go to the interview notebook. As you're writing, all the talents you are trying to hire from everything you put in, our tool will advise you on who to choose. It will suggest after everything, to tell, okay, you've taken 10 interviews, how many do you want to hire? You say 3. It will tell you, well, based on what you've just discovered, these are the top 3 that you should. But of course, it's not going to be the one to do the hiring. It still boils down to you. But now we're about to take the discussion further with our interview assistant. So what we are going to be doing with the interview assistant is that we are building a tool that will be taking interview on behalf of organizations. This tool will send emails out to this AI. Is it
like a live interview or?
Yeah, live interview.
Amazing.
So the same way, so this is going to reduce, so as a startup or an organization, you're going to be reducing how much money you spend on HR. You only spend on HR when needed, right? So startups especially, like they spend a whole lot on HR that, is it actually needed? So why don't you just use our platform and then tell our tool to go and do the hiring for you, and it will do all the hiring. From where we are going to is that it will be able to take from the CVs, scrutinize the CVs, shortlist the CVs. From shortlisting the CV, it will now send emails, take interviews, send calendar, take interviews, rate the interview, and then give you the suggested names of the people that he wants to, that he feels are the best. So we are currently working on that. But where we are right now is, we have a lot of AI tools we are building. So we also have what we call, I'll still come back to this discussion because I know that's going to be very interesting to you. But we also have what we call the job description writer. These are still free tools. So if you want to write a job description for anything, just come to our platform. You'll see this thing. It will write the job description. And we even have a job description analyzer. Amazing. That analyzes and tell you, oh, this job description you've written is not balanced. It will not work, or it's not catchy, or it's disenfranchising certain people. Certain people look at this and it will give you advice. Compelling. It's not compelling and all of that. So we have that analyzer. So these are already tools that we have. But the one we are building is this interview assistant that would be taking interviews on behalf of organization. But this is it. What we are trying to do with this is we are the ones training this AI. And again, I'm going to draft a little bit away from the discussion and then go back to it. So I believe that as Africans, we need to start pioneering technology and not allowing technology to pioneer us. This is what happens in the normal narrative. These kind of stuffs are not things that we build. We wait for those guys to build it and bring it to us. And when they do, those technologies speak their language and they reason like they do. If they are the ones building this kind of interview assistant, what's going to happen? The interview assistant is going to be biased because the very underlying data sets that they use in training it is white. But are you now seeing the difference? We are going to be the ones to build this interview assistant. The data sets that we're going to be using to represent will represent you. So our AI knows when it wants to know what is good and bad, it knows it from the realities of what we pass through as well. It's integrated. So this AI is not going to be biased. If we wait for, because definitely an AI interview it's a solution that the time has come.
Yeah.
Somebody has to build it, and we have to take the forefront of that particular technology, right? Because if we don't do, then they will build it. But when they build it, it means that out of every 10 African that will take the interview with the robot, 9 are going to be out, because that robot does not understand the context. But we are the ones building this. We are building it, bringing it, the context of Africa, the context of all this underlying this, and then bringing it with the generic data set, which most times is always the US, the EU, and all these other countries. So this makes the AI systems that we're going to be building to be much more balanced. As such, when you approach my AI to take interview, the probability that you're going to be taken, you have an equal chance. That's what I should say. You have an equal chance, because the very representative data and the people that built it speaks your language and speaks to your own situations, right? So this is actually where we are. So we are building this, we are building all of this, and we want to change the HR. So we are going beyond just linking people to jobs.
Yeah.
We've taken the discussion to another level, where we want to discuss on the tools that help people to hire. How are those tools being made? Are they inclusive in itself? And can't we build much more inclusive tools? That's what Remostart is doing, right?
Amazing.
So that is where that's where we are.
Before we wrap this up, what would you want to say to the young talents that are watching now? And, what's just your one word, your take? What do you have to say to them?
I would say time.
Okay.
Time. Because we live in a society where everything has to happen now. There's so much craze of everything happening now. It's the Gen Z wall. But no matter how much we try to chase things, no matter how powerful a man is, he does not get a baby by impregnating nine women in 1 month. Say, okay, they said it's 9 months, right? Okay, what I'm going to do is let me impregnate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then in 1 month I'll get a baby. It doesn't happen. Time. So what I would tell young people is the journey to value creation and becoming much better than you were yesterday is answerable to time. I speak to you today not because I didn't just fall from the space. I speak having undergone the process of time. Times when, and the beautiful thing is nobody knows this. Yeah. Days when every other person is sleeping and you're up there in your laptop trying to learn those things. Days when you're walking and it's not working.
What exactly am I doing?
Days when it seems as if everyone has arrived and it seems like you are the last person, like you have not arrived. Time. We have to embrace the beauty of time and the process of time in itself. We need to look out of the camouflage of society and how society paints things. Most times this is where we young people miss it. We see people driving the cars and we don't know that the car that we're seeing today was a product of 10 years ago. Yeah. You see someone on Instagram, he has 1 million followers, but there was some years ago, he had just 1 follower. Yeah. What if he had stopped? And you know the beautiful thing about time again? Time exposes you to failure.
Yeah. As
you keep failing, I tell someone, I said, failures are potential successes that stopped at a particular time.
Yeah.
Successes are repeated failures that never gave up. Yeah. So time will expose you to failures, you will get angry, you will get tired, but the beautiful thing about it is that as you keep doing it, something is happening inside of you. It's called value. When the employers pay you, they are not paying you, and this is a direction we did not go. And thank for this question. When employers pay you, they don't only pay you for the skills, they are paying you for your value. Yeah. The collectiveness of that whole process, everything you've built and learned, the disciplines you've understood and everything is what they pay you. So they pay you for what you want and not only the skill. Build your value and you will see where you can be in in just a short.
So it's been an amazing time, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of people that are watching now, they're just in a hurry to quickly click on the link. So the link again is www.remostart.com. So if you're looking for an internship opportunity, for a remote job, just get out. And it's been an amazing time with you today, and I'm super excited that we're able to do this. So thank you for doing this, and till I come your way again, my name is Joseph Etim. Make sure you're subscribed, make sure you like, make sure you share this with somebody that you care about, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.